Binge watch and learn on TRS clips. Like in your entire tenure, which particular combat experience did you find the most challenging?
I wouldn't call it a combat experience, but it was a life-threatening experience. There was this trawler which had been scuttled, and it was on the bottom of a jetty.
You mean it sank?
What they do is when you capture a trawler, what the fishermen or whatever they do is they scuttle it, a slow scuttle, by opening the cocks underwater.
You'll have to explain everything from
Okay.
water trawlers to what scuttle is.
Imagine there's a Korean fishing trawler in the Indian Ocean.
A trawler's a big ship.
Big trawler in the sense about 60 meters long.
Okay.
Now, Indian Ocean is the only ocean where fish die of old age.
Really?
Because we don't exploit as much as we should. And we have foreign countries, big trawlers which come and poach in our waters. And once in a while, the Navy and the Coast Guard, apprehends them, escort them to the nearest harbor, and the crew is handed over to the police. Now, in order to hide the catch, if you don't have evidence, you can't sue them. They open up these small valves in the bottom and the water starts filling in. So while it's seemingly floating, by the time it comes to the harbor and you secure them, they sink.
Okay.
So we had one such trawler which was scuttled.
One thing, they sink and what? They escape.
No, they have been apprehended, but all that the catch that they have is underwater. Now it is up to the Navy to again go and bring out whatever is underwater.
But what's the point of sinking it?
If we can't have it, you can't have it.
It's just ego.
It is just ego.
Okay.
And make it that much more difficult for us. Now the jetty is inoperable for that duration till we pull her out. We can't get our ships alongside. It is just a nuisance value. And here I was returning from Bajrang, in Assam, which I just spoke about earlier. And I was asked to go and salvage this particular trawler. And all these fishing trawlers have these big fishing nets behind and big cleats, which run to about 2-3 kilometers long. That is the kind of net. And it was becoming sunset time, and I said I'll just go in for a check dive. And as a team leader, we always do the first dive ourselves. And the petty officer, my number 2, warned me that, sir, please wear a surface diving set, where the supply comes from surface, and not a independent set, which will last for about 20 minutes. I said, I'm just going for a check dive. I'll come out fast. But the grey-haired petty officer said, sir, mat karo. Wear a surface supply, even if it takes a little time delay. And
what's the difference in the two sets?
In 20 minutes, the
oxygen runs out.
Finish.
In surface diving sets?
In a independent, like a scuba diving set.
Okay.
But in a surface supply, it is a continuous supply from cylinders on top.
Got it.
And the cylinders on your back is only for an emergency.
Understood.
So I listened to the grey-haired petty officer and I went in that. And the moment I went in from behind and entered, the whole trawler capsized underwater.
You mean it turned?
It fell to one side. From even keel, it fell to one side. And I was trapped between some 10 layers of fishing nets.
Wow. You were alone?
Yes. And it took them 4 hours to cut through those layers of fishing net to pull me out.
How did you communicate with them?
We have this pipe going up. So it is a system of pulls and bells. 1 pull, I'm okay. And 4 pulls, I want to come up. 3 pulls, I want to go down. But what happened was, because of the entanglement of the pipes, I couldn't even signal them.
So you were close to death?
Yes. And if I had not listened to that petty officer and had gone in my independent set, I would be a statue and not speaking to you today. And I started cutting from inside and they started cutting from top. And I think it was almost 8 in the night when they finally pulled me out to the surface.
So you couldn't even see anything.
Nothing.
So it was just darkness that you were stuck in the middle of. No fear kicked in.
But that's what you've been trained for.
Hell week kicked in.
We are comfortable in dark. We are much more, as you say, masters of touch and feel underwater.
Let me give the listener some context here. Go to a beach at night and try looking at the dark ocean.
Yeah.
And then think of yourself stuck in the middle of that dark ocean with nets all around you, underwater, with a limited supply of oxygen.
That's how it is in most of the wrecks. It is scary, to say the least.
I don't want to talk to the Navy man in you here. I want to talk to the human in you here.
Yeah.
What was going on in your head in those 4 hours?
I was very confident that our men are there to pull me out, and I just had to continue breathing. And we go into something called a pendulum breathing. We don't breathe like how we are breathing now. You breathe in, hold, and then release. So that way, the body also goes into a state of calm and rest.
It's like a pranayam.
Yes, and the endurance also increases.
Endurance increases.
Your endurance to, the amount of air you will consume, the system also slows down. Otherwise, by rapid breathing, you're actually pushing your lungs and your other faculties to hard work, which will tire the whole body. So pendulum breathing brings you to a state of calm, and you continue doing your job of cutting the various layers and hoping that there'll be a hand to pull you out.
Any sea snake encounters?
Plenty.
They are the dangerous ones, right?
Only 3% of snakes in the world are poisonous.
Okay. I've read that it's mainly sea snakes that are poisonous. Like the 3% are sea snakes. So
Jellyfish is much more dicey.
has it stung you? No?
Yes, we have had many cases. So
You-
we do carry vinegar with us. So immediately put it on the spot where you get the sting.
Or you piss on it?
Yeah.
Have you been stung?
That is the best cure actually.
Okay.
Instantly. Even Goan beaches sometimes are kept out of bound because that blue bottle jellyfish which comes during a particular season. But predominantly Indian waters, you have that orange colored jellyfish, which gives you a sting, but doesn't cause any, violent reaction. In Cochin, yes, during training, there have been a few cases where they had to be rushed to the ICU.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
They affect your nervous system and can just paralyze the whole system. So the less you panic, the less the blood circulates and the less it will hit you. So if you get stung, try and not react and try and not palpitate and try and not, make it worse.
Is that true about pain and discomfort in general?
Yes,
Because pain is in the mind.
pain is in the mind.
Have you been shot? ever?
Shot at, yes.
But it's not hit you.
It was a very interesting situation where we were doing a door-to-door search, and I was with the Gurkhas that time. And the Gurkhas are known for their unflinching loyalty to their officers. So I had two of them on either side, and I was to knock on the door to interrogate. We had all the windows and doors covered, and the middle of the night. And when I opened the door, one guy came with all, oh, who are you? How dare you enter my house? And kind of touched me or something. These two guys immediately drew their weapons, their
Kukri.
kukris, and that guy shot. I mean, everything happened in such speed, but we do have protective gear. So
So the bullet hit your protective gear?
we all, yeah,
Like a bulletproof vest?
BPJ, yeah.
What does it feel when it hits the vest?
It is, the impact is pretty hard, but if it is not in a crucial place, you can bounce back immediately. Otherwise, it'll take a little while to, get back. But it takes the impact. we have graduated in bulletproof jackets too, from Kevlar, which was based on the spider web, to ceramics, which have got break and capture. One layer shatters and one layer captures. So it is lightweight and thinner and easy to move around.
Have you been injured in a combat situation? Like, does your foot twist, or do you get any kind of joint injuries?
I have been safe that way.
Okay.
Other than when there was a sea dive, and we have a weight, 50 kg weight, which is lowered first, and we go down on that. But the sea state was so,
Rough.
high and rough that with me sitting on the 50 kg weight, we were getting tossed around 6 feet up and down in the bottom. And me and my buddy had got entangled. And entangled in a way that we couldn't go up. And finally, the supervisor realized and hauled up the weight with two of us on a winch onto the ship. with all the pipes around us and, choking us. That was, I think, one of the most nightmarish dives I've had.
So TRS Clips has all sorts of videos and all sorts of playlists. Make sure you explore the channel by subscribing and heading to our homepage and reading through all the playlists.